Okay, let's get right into it. When you've got a multi-million-dollar consulting project on the line, the AI tool you pick for user research, that can be the make or break decision between a happy client and a failed project. So today, we're going to put two of the heavy hitters, atypica and Listen Labs, head to head. We'll figure out which one is the right choice for the really high stakes work. You know, this isn't just some catchy line. It's pretty much the golden rule of consulting. Your clients, they're not paying you for a list of quotes. They're paying for your brain, your analysis, and for a conclusion that is so solid it can stand up to the toughest questions in any boardroom. That idea right there should be your North Star when you're picking a tool. So that really brings us to the big question, right? When your reputation is on the line, which one of these AI tools is actually going to help you build confidence? And I don't just mean for your client, I mean for you, so you can walk into that big presentation knowing your recommendations are built on solid rock. Let's find out. To answer that, we first have to get really clear on the actual problem consultants are up against every single day. And trust me, it goes way beyond just collecting some data. I mean, every consultant knows that feeling, right? That little pit in your stomach when a client just leans back, crosses their arms, and says, "Yeah, I'm not so sure." Or when a partner pulls you aside and needs to validate a huge assumption, like right now. These aren't just what ifs. These are the pressure cooker moments that define a project's success. And this, right here, is where the best consultants really shine. See, it's easy to ask, "So, what did the user say?" and just spit back a bunch of quotes. The real value, the thing you're paid for, is being able to answer, why are we absolutely confident this is the right move? The right tool doesn't just give you the what, it helps you build the why. Okay, so with all that context, let's take a look at our first contender, Listen Labs. It's probably best to think of this as a quick validation tool. Listen Labs has a really clear sweet spot, and honestly, it's fantastic for specific, fast-moving tasks. You need to sprinkle some real user quotes into a pitch deck to make it pop? Perfect for that. Or maybe you've got a hunch and just need a quick sanity check before you go all in. This is your tool for that kind of lightweight, early-stage exploring. The biggest appeal of Listen Labs is just how fast it is. I mean, it's designed for speed, with almost no setup needed. And that means you don't have to be a seasoned researcher to get a quick read on an idea. It's all about getting rid of the friction and getting to a fast answer. Now, let's totally switch gears and look at a tool with a completely different mindset. That's Atypica. It doesn't see itself as a quick fix tool, but more like a full partner for your entire project. And this is really the game-changing difference. Atypica isn't built for a one-off task. It's built to actually mirror the whole journey of a consulting project. You know, from that messy, confusing start, through the complicated middle, all the way to that polished final report. So how does that actually work? Well, think about it. At the beginning, when you're just trying to figure out what the client even wants, Atypica helps you shape those vague questions into a real research plan. Then, in the middle of the project, when you need to guess how different people might react, you can actually simulate those perspectives. And finally, at the end, it helps you crank out those defensible, client-ready insights that you can drop right into your final deck. Oh man, we've all been there. You've just laid out what you think is a totally brilliant insight, and then you hear it from across the conference table. Okay, that sounds reasonable, but where's the evidence? That's the moment of truth, and it's exactly what Atypica is designed to prepare you for. So let's get right to the heart of it all. How do these two tools actually prepare you to answer that all-important question, why? This slide is absolutely key. Listen Labs gives you the answer, a summary, a quote, but the why behind that answer can feel a bit like a black box. Atypica, on the other hand, is built to save the entire chain of logic. It basically shows its work, letting you trace every single conclusion right back to the evidence. And the impact of that is just massive. What does it mean for you? It means no more of those late-night panic sessions trying to find where a certain claim came from. It means when a client challenges you, you can give a straight, evidence-based answer instead of trying to dance around it. And at the end of the day, that transparency is what builds real credibility with your clients. If you had to boil this entire comparison down to one single thought, this would be it. Listen Labs is like a laser pointer. It's a precision tool for a specific, isolated job. Atypica is more like research infrastructure. It's like building a whole factory that makes your entire team more efficient, more consistent, and way more defensible project after project. So, where does all this leave you? Let's wrap this up with a really clear framework to help you make the right call for your next project.
So how do you choose? It's actually pretty simple. If what you need is tactical, like some quick one-off feedback for a low-stakes task where you need zero setup, Listen Labs is a fantastic choice. But if your work is strategic, if you know for a fact that a skeptical client is going to pick it apart and you need to build an airtight case, then you are firmly in atypica's territory.
And so the big takeaway here is this. While Listen Labs definitely has its place for those quick hits, for the kind of tough, high-stakes work that really defines consulting today, Atypica comes out as the more complete, robust, and defensible option.
So I'll just leave you with this one question. Your next big client meeting is already in the calendar. When that tough, inevitable question comes your way, which tool will you have in your corner ready to defend your logic? The choice is all yours. Thanks for tuning in.